Hello there, everybody. My name is Bryan.
And I'm Bryan.
And this is Bryan versus Bryan, episode 62, The Many Saints of Newark, a Sopranos story. I hate those little after titled bits, but
a Sopranos tale.
A Sopranos tale. 2021. Mutual release, HBO Max, theaters. Obviously prequel to The Sopranos. Spoiler alert, I didn't watch The Sopranos, so I'm going into this this is just a movie to me. You've seen The Sopranos, so I'm sure it takes on a bit of a different meaning for you. First of all, right off the bat, this movie did terrible. What, 5 million opening weekend?
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Yeah.
So 5 million. Damn, could have made more standing on a corner with a bucket. Like, dang, bro, that sucks.
That's typically pretty, standard for spin-off movies or like prequel to shows. I don't know. I feel like they never really do very well when they do.
Yeah, but fuck, 5 million, even in the COVID times, it just seems drastically low. Which is a shame because I thought this was pretty good coming from just a standalone. I had no prior reference. I've seen a couple scenes of Sopranos and Jesse's watching it, but I've never really watched it. So what I didn't like, first off, I don't know who directed this. Who directed this?
Alan Taylor.
And then it's written by the guy who did the whole show, right?
Yeah.
Going back. Yeah. Okay. What I didn't like was the old bait and switch, dude. This was a catfish movie, totally. It's like all the trailers I've seen is all pictures of Gandolfini's son. And you think, I was totally coming into this thinking it was going to be like about him and his rise to power. It's not about him at all. No, he's barely in it. He's a kid during freaking a third of it.
Yeah, I'd say like probably close to half. He's just a little boy.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then he finally got older. I was like, okay, now the story's going to shift because they kept showing him. And nothing really. He doesn't do much. He doesn't say much. I didn't think he was that great. I mean, obviously he looks like his dad, so that's good continuity, bringing it into Sopranos, but he didn't really have any lines that I remember.
Yeah, it's a tough line to walk, right? Because I don't think he's ever acted before, and so you don't want to give him a heavy dialogue role because it'll start to show that he's never acted. So I thought what they did with him was pretty good, given that he's not an actor. I mean, he kind of shows up, every now and again, has a couple lines, but like you said, he's not really part of the main. He's not the main character of the movie.
She's not even close. I thought he did okay for never acting. Like, I wouldn't be like, that guy's never acted before. But yeah, he didn't have much to do. Just kind of like a weird childlike wonder in everything he does. Oh, hey, Uncle. He's just kind of like
he's very innocent. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't picture Soprano being like that, but or that innocent,
Sure.
Like, he's pretty doe-eyed. Oh, wow. Crime? What? Why? Why would you do that? But yeah, that's about the only thing I didn't like was kind of the bait and switch of making people think it's all about that when it really wasn't at all. But the real story of was it Uncle Dick?
Mm-hmm.
Dickie.
Maltasanti.
Pretty cool, man. Pretty dope. This character is pretty sweet. I like this guy. I was like, he's a pretty slick operator. I like him. I don't know if they speak about him much in the show or what.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely brought up. He's always been referred to as like, this fucking legend of the neighborhood, and this somebody that Tony's always looked up to, like his hero, his mentor. Obviously, for reasons you never meet him through a flashback or anything. This is the first time we've ever been introduced to him. So, I mean, that alone is pretty fan servicey. If you're going to go back and do a Sopranos prequel movie, doing it with Dickie is kind of a good move.
And the movie looked great. Period piece, 60s, 70s, and all the sets and stuff and cars looked really great. Unlike, I kept thinking of the Irishman and how everything looked pretty fake in CG. This looks pretty real. If it was CG, man, it's much better, because all these look like real storefronts and, you know, building facades that they built. It looked good.
Yeah, it seems like they shot a lot of it on location. I imagine I've never been to Jersey, but I imagine a lot of those neighborhoods kind of look the same as they did.
It's like it's straight up out of the 70s.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of about his rise, or you know, and the kind of war they had with the black gangs, specific black gang. I forget what they were called. Or like the Saints or something.
Yeah, I don't remember what they were called.
But that was pretty cool. They kind of make me hated that character who worked for him and then turned against him. And
oh yeah, Harold.
I was like, yeah, Harold, you bastard, Harold.
I like his story a lot. I liked his character. And he's actually new. He's never mentioned, he's not in Sopranos. He's never mentioned the Sopranos. So Harold is a completely new character. And I'm kind of conflicted on that, because on one hand, I liked it. I liked his story. I liked him running for Dickie, but then him kind of having this other calling and like activism and going off and doing that. I liked that story. But by the time the credits rolled, I was kind of like, what was the point of all that? Because at some point, like that story, that plot line kind of hits a peak with kind of a shootout. And then Harold just kind of disappears for the last half of the movie. And then you cuts back to him in like a mid-credit scene. So I was just like, what was the point of Harold's? And I don't know. I was talking to Sarah about it, and she was kind of thinking maybe it could be set up. Maybe he's going to get his own show. Maybe he's going to continue this kind of Soprano thing, but it remains to be seen. But I don't know. As much as I like that storyline, I just kind of walked away with like, what the fuck was the point of all that?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand the end of the shootout either. Did he leave to let Dickie live, or what? I didn't quite understand it. When he looks in the hole.
Yeah, like, you're there to kill him. Why didn't you do it? Make us maybe you got cold feet in the last second, but
no idea. And then you do hear sirens, so you're like, okay, maybe he's getting out of there. But what's one more shot? You already, we're already here,
right?
So that was kind of weird. Ray Liotta, got to be in everything. Jesus, I liked him as Hollywood Dick.
Mm-hmm.
Or that was his name, right? I didn't like him as the freaking twin brother. They pull the twin brother gag.
Yeah.
After he dies, he goes, I'm gonna go see his brother. And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute. The old two Ray Liotta gag. Did you ever go for it? Shaves his head and talks a little different. Yeah, I'm not Ray Liotta. I'm it's twin over here.
I like jazz.
Yeah, how could I be him? When I'm me and I'm in fucking prison over here. Hey. I was like, oh no. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I really don't like it when they do that. The old
I thought he did pretty well. I thought he did a pretty good dual role. I thought they were different enough, but
they were pretty different.
Kind of like, it was still kind of weird, and especially because, when Dickie is smashing his father's head into a steering wheel over and over, and then like kind of stops, I was like, oh, he's not dead. And the reason why I thought that is because I've seen the trailer, and I know the trailer opens with Dickie at prison talking to Ray Liotta, and that scene hadn't happened yet. So I'm like, oh, he's gonna like gasp or something. And then the scene kind of keeps going. He's like dragging his body, and I'm like, is he gonna wake up? I'm kind of confused about this. They cut the whole prison scene out, and then he sets him on fire, and I'm like, okay, now I'm very confused. And then when they finally show it's a twin brother, I'm like, oh. Okay.
I know, it's like, you don't have. How many fucking people know twins? You don't. They don't exist. All right? They're few and far between. I've met very few twins in my life, okay? And if you do meet a few twins, trust me, you only know one of them. You're not buddies with both of them. It's not a
You gotta pick one. It's like a marriage.
Yeah, you don't get both.
Yeah.
The twins fucking don't want to be around each other. They hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want the same friends. They don't want the same group. They want to be independent.
They're like enemies out the fucking gate.
So I don't know what the deal is with movies and like, as one guy playing twin brothers. It's like nobody's ever met a pair of twin brothers. They're not. They're in. It's a movie. It's a fushigi. It's a fairy dust.
The only movie that can do that is if it has Van Damme. When it's that, it's all gravy. 2 Van Dammes are better than one.
If they weren't separated at birth and raised by 2 different families, they're not twins. But yeah, the Ray Liotta thing. It was pretty different.
Well, I like the fact. I know. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out, but it's kind of a nice bridge though, because in the Sopranos show, Tony's therapist is played by Lorraine Bracco, who was Henry Hill's wife in Goodfellas, or Ray Liotta's wife in Goodfellas.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this movie, Ray Liotta kind of plays the therapist character for Dickie in a sense, and so it's kind of cool that Ray Liotta comes in to play Lorraine Bracco's kind of role. It's kind of a cool little switch, but so from like a fan servicey thing, it was kind of neat.
Yeah, I like he's the one putting together all this shit too. So much tragedy around your life. You want a real good present to give Tony? Stay out of his life forever. What happened to your gabagool? Your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, she died. Pneumonia. Oh. You could just tell. Like, and then he says some kind of line like, "Hey, don't listen to me. I'm just a murderer." Knowing that, I know you're a fucking murderer too.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people in your life keep dying, seems like.
Yeah, that ain't jazz.
Take it back.
Take it back. Can't afford
this
the
one
fun
too.
Pack. Take it back. What is this? Huey Lewis? Take it back. So that stuff was pretty cool. I really like the Dickie character, and when you think about it, I was thinking about it afterwards. He's super unlikable. Just murders those people for murders his dad. Not very good reason. Super brutally.
Yeah.
Murders his girlfriend. Nah, not that great of a reason. It's pretty brutally. That was a pretty cool scene.
It's pretty fucked up there.
And then he almost gets taken out and like has to save himself from drowning, and you kind of see her body get just kind of rushed out.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for a second he was gonna because he looked like he kind of regretted it. I thought he was gonna go out there and try and save her.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah, he I don't know, it's tough. I thought he was pretty good. I thought that, I would have really loved for this to have been like a 7-8 episode miniseries to kind of flesh him out a little more. Because he has talked about in The Sopranos, and to truncate his story into 2 hours, it would have been cooler to see it, a little longer and a little more of his life and him doing more things with Tony. And so I don't know. At the end of the day, especially if you compare Dickie to Tony, it's like night and day. Tony, I think, is a far superior character. Just he's well written, he's layered, and there's a lot going on with Tony. Where Dickie just kind of seems like generic gangster dude. So yeah, I don't know. I think I would have preferred this to have been kind of a longer storyline than just 2 hours.
Yeah, it goes by fast. So it was pretty action-packed. Always something cool happening on screen. Because the next thing I knew, it was over. Credits roll. I was like, oh, man, it's over? Dang.
Yeah, it probably has one of the most violent kind of gangster scenes I've seen in a while, which is someone takes the tire, the nut gun thing. I don't know what you call it, but sticks in some guy's mouth and fucking drills his fucking. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Talking that shit till that comes out. Yeah, and twists his teeth up, and you see all the teeth and bits fly out. Ooh. And then and he gets up and he gets killed. That one guy was super weird. I love the guy who kills him. It has the toupee.
Yeah,
Always like
Silvio.
flying over. He's like, oh man. He got a really weird accent. That guy was pretty funny.
Yeah, I gotta say, everyone that they cast for the younger versions of the Sopranos characters were fucking spot on. Like all of them are really good. I mean, some of the characters you see in the scene, and you're like, you already know who it is. Like, oh, that's fucking Paulie, and that's Silvio. So I thought they did a really good job of mimicking these other actors from the Sopranos.
I thought it was kind of strange to have Dickie's son narrate the movie.
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead, and because he has nothing to do with this story. You know what I mean?
Well, him and Tony have a really, really like almost a similar bond. Well, maybe not similar bond because Dickie and Tony didn't have a lot of time together. But Tony and Christopher are very close in The Sopranos. They're like father and son type of deal. So it kind of makes sense a little bit.
I know this story isn't really about Tony or Christopher at all. He's a baby. They show him like once, and then he'll choke me to death later, but that's much later. It's like, what are you? You got nothing to do with this shit. Tony barely has anything to do with this shit. So I thought that was kind of strange. Just a way to get him in there, I guess.
Right.
Another callback.
Yeah.
This mom's still nagging and being a biatch. I love
the mom stuff was fucking great, dude. I like the mom a lot. It's cool to like because we were kind of recording a little later than normal today, and so there's no Seahawks today. I kind of had some time to kill this morning, and I went back and watched the first few episodes of Sopranos. It's been a while. I should note that I have seen The Sopranos, but it's been like many, many, many years since I watched it in its entirety. So some of the stuff I can't recall, but it was cool to see. What's her name? Vera Farmiga, the gal from Conjuring. Her playing Livia, because she's almost doing. Actually, I don't even say almost. She's basically doing a Carmela impression, and Carmela is Tony's wife. So it's kind of cool to see. Like I think they're kind of saying that Tony married his mom in a way. So I thought that was kind of a neat little nod.
She did look like Tony's wife.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just some of their because the Sopranos is a lot of it is about him and his mom and like their fucking awful relationship. So it's kind of cool to see some of the early pieces of that.
Yeah,
like there's this moment where his mom's crazy.
Mom's an asshole. Like Tony convinces Dickie to try and help his mom because she needs like antidepressants or something, but she'll never take any drugs. And so he gives him the flyer of the like pills. Then he's killed, and then at the funeral, the mom's like, "Yeah, they had those pills in his pocket." Oh, it just showed you never know about someone. Just trashing him after he's dead when he was trying to help her.
Yeah. Well, it's fucked up because in the show they say that he was a drug addict, and like that's kind of one of Christopher's thing is like, well, my dad was a drug addict, and because he kind of goes into drugs later on in the series, but really we kind of find out that he wasn't. He was just trying to do a good thing for Tony.
Yeah. And well, you were going to mention the eating scene. Is that where you were going to mention about the mom?
Oh no, I was just going to say like they do a good job of like building their kind of almost hate for each other. But there's a scene where he's getting called into his principal's office, and he kind of recalls this moment with his mom, and then his mom gets brought in, and then she kind of realizes like, oh, I maybe haven't been the best mom to Tony. And so she tries to set up this kind of, nice breakfast for him, and she's being really nice. And then that immediately changes very quickly, and it becomes a hostile thing, just like it does in the show. Like there's a lot of times in the show where he tries to do something nice for his mom, and his mom is, "Oh, Tony, get out of here." So it's kind of cool to see that early beginnings of that kind of toxic relationship.
Whoop whoop. Yeah, so that's what I got about this one, really. I liked it. Thought it was pretty good. Just as a outsider, having no reference, just as a gangster movie, I thought it was a pretty good gangster movie. I liked all the the writing and the dialogue between the gangsters. That's really what makes these gangster movies. It's like how believable the crew is and their friendships and stuff like that. Oh, before we kind of wrap it up, the guy, Dickie's brother, right? He's in the show, right? That's the same actor, isn't it?
Dickie's brother.
The one who's bald and wears the glasses and it hurts his back. I don't know if it's his brother, but it's somehow related.
Yeah, they're like, well,
through marriage or something.
That's Tony's dad's brother, so that's Tony's uncle. And Dickie, who the fuck is Dickie to Tony? I don't know, like cousins or something. Because Christopher is Tony's cousin.
Dickie was his uncle, but I think it was through marriage. I think it was his dad's wife is like his sister.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then that's another strange thing. Tony's dad is John Burtnall.
Yeah.
it's the Punisher. Like, what the fuck?
I always love when that guy shows up. Especially when I don't know he's in a movie. I'm like, yeah, it's John Bernthal.
And he's the least badass of anyone in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that guy who ends up killing Dickie, I fucking hated that guy. And then find that out when he goes and answers the phone and it's done. And I was like, you fucking rat fink. Dude, you fucking rat.
That fucking scene is huge because I think it's like season 5 or something. Like, we never know what happened to Dickie, right? And there's a scene, Tony drives Christopher to this guy's house and he's like, inside that house, there's a fucking corrupt cop who killed your dad over some stupid ass feud. So here's my gift to you is go kill this guy. So Christopher goes in there and some things happen. And so I think Christopher tries to get like a confession out of him. And the cop's like, I don't know who told you that, but I did not kill your dad. Like, sorry, but that didn't happen. And Christopher kind of just kills him anyway. So as an audience, you were never really, do we believe the cop?
I think I've actually seen that scene.
Yeah. And so it was never really revealed of how Dickie, we just knew that he got shot outside of his house. And so when it reveals it's Uncle Junior, and yes, Uncle Junior is very much in The Sopranos. He's like a fucking pipsqueak old man.
Is that the same actor though?
No, he's much older in the show. No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he's just like this insecure fucking piece of shit old man. And so when you find out it's Uncle Junior, you're like, it makes sense, that fucking little rat bastard.
Yeah, this fucking rat, because he fucking laughed at him when he fell. He's like, that fucking rat bitch, Dickie. It's like, you act like he pushed you. You didn't do it. You tripped. Right. But he laughed.
Well, there's more. There's stuff like, I think when his brother John Bernthal gets out of jail or whatever, and John's like, how can you let all this shit happen? Look at fucking Dickie. He did all these things. You didn't hear him bitching. So there's a lot of like resentment towards Dickie because people like Dickie more than Uncle Junior. That's a stupid way to kill a fucking person. That's for sure.
Yeah, because you think it's gonna be with Harold.
Yeah. That's where I thought the whole thing was kind of leading up to, and then when it wasn't Harold, I was like, oh, well, the fuck what the point was Harold then? But yeah. Good shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right, but the Many Saints of Newark, I'm gonna give this 6.9 out of 10 gabagools.
Yeah, I was kind of leaning on a solid 7. I think it's pretty good. I think as a standalone, it's nowhere near the greats of the gangster genre. But I think this movie kind of needed to do 2 things, right? It needed to make the hardcore fans of The Sopranos happy, which I think they nailed that part of it. And then the other part is they needed to make a compelling, gangster drama in itself. I don't think they knocked it out of the park, but I think they made a pretty entertaining one.
Yeah, I'm at 6.9. I think I would raise that if I had a history with The Sopranos. So I think a 7 to 7.5 would be appropriate. If you like these characters and know these characters, it might mean more to you. But even without knowing anything, it was still pretty good. Pretty good standalone. So yeah, go check it out. HBO and in theaters if you would, because they could use your money. Oh,
$5 million and $10. I did my part.
Yeah. Put that with the rest, Johnny. Go ahead, put that with the rest, baby. Don't you dare movie pass this, you bastard. You pay for that popcorn.
Yep.
Don't bring no candy, nothing. All right, yeah. So please join us. Listen to the podcast on Spotify or Apple. Also, as always, we have the videos here on YouTube. Please join us next week. We're gonna do The Shining. Just a little October time to do another horror movie, we thought, and don't get much better than The Shining. So it'll be another fun one I want to do sometime. The Thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then maybe the remake too.
Because
I think the remake gets some, or it's not a remake, it's a prequel, but it's kind of a remake. I think that gets a lot of unjust hate, and I loved it. I think it works really great as a go along piece. So it's another earwig in your ear. Maybe those.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I was thinking about The Thing because I don't know if you're a fan of Red Letter Media, but they've been doing a run now. They're kind of ranking all John Carpenter movies. And so, yeah, I mean, I would love to fucking watch The Thing again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I like those guys. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Like, gets into some very talky stuff, but overall, I like their content.
Yeah.
The Hack the Movies, and is that what it's called?
They have three. They have Best of the Worst, which I don't really watch. They just like review really shitty movies, and then they have Half in the Bag, which is like
that's the one I'm thinking about.
And then they do reviews.
Just sit there, half in the bag.
Yeah, so good.
They try to make some like skits in it sometimes. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. Yeah, that and the other guys. I really love the Cinemassacre guys. Yeah, so pow. Shining, check it out. Next week. Join us as always. We enjoyed having you. Please check out the Saints of Newark and see if you agree or disagree. Do you like the Sopranos or you're not a Sopranos person? I don't think it really matters because this is going to be pretty enjoyable either way. So thanks for joining us. As always, double salute.
Salute.
Till next time. Peace.
Peace.